Hi, welcome back to Showbiz. Summary of Day 15 of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case. So what happened on Friday was that we saw, as you can see here, that we saw the video of Heard's sister, and apparently she'd been attacked by Amber. They also spoke about Depp not wanting her to be in any what he calls whore parts, so any roles where she wouldn't be dressed appropriately or was in like sex scenes. So we saw not the best side of both of them. And today is day 15, and this is the penultimate day of the trial. So we heard from Amber's team, and it was their last chance to give evidence and to make their point before Depp's teams go tomorrow. So we're about to talk to Rick Sky, Showbiz owner, and see what he thought.
Hi, yeah, so day 15, this is a very, very long and complicated case, and we're coming to the end of it. So today and tomorrow are the summing up. So you had today Sasha Wass, who's the lawyer for the Sun. Remember, this is a case that Depp is bringing against the Sun, not against Amber Heard, although we keep referring it to Depp against Amber. It really is Depp against the Sun. The Sun wrote an article which accused him of being a wife beater, and he is contesting that. Now, so the summing up today, we went through all the old evidence really, and there's I think 14 allegations that are the basis of the Sun's defence in this trial. 14 defence things that Amber has brought against Johnny Depp, you know, to show that he was violent towards her. And so we had all the head-butting incidents, the choking incidents. These were all brought again to the fore. Very interestingly, there's so many interesting things about this. First of all, I mean, I don't know if you realise that this is a case that's heard without a jury. And that's I think that's quite unusual for a libel case. One of the reasons for this could be that it's a complicated case, and it is very complicated. I mean, there's so much to-ing and fro-ing, so many allegations. Who's telling the truth? Who's lying? What's the time frame? Muddles, all this kind of thing. But I suppose the other thing is that if it was held in front of a jury, would the jury be starstruck? And this is always the case with celebrities having going on trial and trial by jury, is that often people think that the jury is so starstruck that they would say, oh, the celebrity's definitely innocent, I love his films, you know, it's as simple as that. So we're going through all these different allegations. Now, the other interesting thing about this is, it's always puzzled me, if Johnny Depp was guilty, why would he bring a case like this against the Sun? Surely he's got to believe his own innocence. And why does he believe his own innocence? You know, because he hasn't done any of this. Now, the counter-argument to that is he believes his own innocence. This is what Sasha Wass and the legal team for the Sun are implying. He believes his own innocence because he wasn't aware of what he was doing, that the drugs and the alcohol made him oblivious. He had lost complete track of reality, so he didn't quite understand or didn't quite remember what he was up to. Sorry, Olivia.
Do you think that's something that happens a lot then? Do you think it's common that people have no track at all of reality? It seems unlikely that if you say there's 14 allegations here of him, I suppose, like attacking his wife, and that he remembers none of them 14 times. It seems a little bit ludicrous.
It does seem odd, yeah. But people, you know, when you're in a drug, when you're hit by drugs and you don't know what's happening, you do lose touch of reality, and it does turn people. You could be the nicest person in the world, and once you're on drugs or drink, a different part of your personality takes over. So there's that to bear in mind. Also to bear in mind is that he knows himself that he becomes a monster. He drinks. He's sort of admitted, well not sort of, he has admitted that himself, and he says he's sorry. Now of course his defence team will say he was just doing that to placate Amber, to smooth the relationship over and make sure everything was all right. But I mean, the things that we have been hearing have been pretty horrific. You know, how a couple that loved each other so much could just turn into real antagonistic and villains and all that. The one of the incidents that I particularly find quite amazing is where the son's lawyers are saying that he deliberately cut off his finger and then scrawled covered it in paint and scrawled kind of all kinds of obscenities on the walls. I mean, it's just it beggars belief that a couple that was so much in love could turn out to be so hateful to each other.
Do you think then that some of this evidence is fake? And we've seen some of the photos, and there have been some suggestions from some people that perhaps these photos were faked, her injuries were faked, that she put them to herself. Do you think that's a possibility?
Well, yes. I mean, I'm sure that's what I know that's what Depp's team will be saying tomorrow. That she's basically faked the whole thing up, and it's a giant fraud. It's tied in with the Me Too movement. She's they'll say she's a gold digger. So there's all that. She has, in many ways, the reason they loved each other so much is they're pretty alike, I think. They're both very, very unstable characters, and that must have drawn them to each other. And the fact that she has some instability, and she herself, I think, has had periods of violence through her up, maybe brought about because she had an alcoholic father and all kinds of things. So they're not innocent. Neither of them are innocent in this, I don't think, and that's part of the beauty and the part of the complexity of this case. Tomorrow you'll be hearing, from Depp's people, Depp's defence, but really, it's quite an amazing case, because all the son have to prove is that on one solitary occasion he hit her. On one solitary occasion he hit her. If they can prove that, they've won their defence.
Do you think then they're making it too complicated by bringing in all of these times, all of these?
No, I don't think. I mean, yes, they're making it very complicated. But what they have to is they have to bring in as much evidence as they can. No, but not only is it that's a good point, Olivia, that making it too complicated. But if in one of those bits of allegations of Amber's she's found to be lying, that can also destroy a case, because they can put, well, she lied on this occasion, so she's just lying the whole way through. I mean, I've never known and I've reported on lots and lots of cases. I even wrote a book about Michael Jackson, and the allegations of sexual child abuse there with him. So I know these cases, and I've reported them in the past for a long, long time. This is really fascinating. Why anybody would want so much of their personal life to come out, and not pleasant personal life to come out, is beyond me.
That's a question I guess we'll find out tomorrow when we hear again from that side of the team and we hear the end of the court case. So yeah, we'll speak to you then. Bye. Thank you.